Short term, there is definitely some uncertainty, and you see that in the prices now, both on gas and on oil. But long term, we believe that the price development will be different, and that the long term effects of this will be limited compared to what we have seen in, for instance, the Russian invasion of Ukraine and what we saw during COVID. So the long term effect we think is minor due to these recent events last weekend.
Yeah, Remi, I wonder whether it does motivate some governments and business people, though, to think about sourcing more directly from local energy sources, because what we've seen in your numbers here and some of the highlights from your report is that the preference is for local energy versus imports, even if that comes at a cost.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we see, is that the locally produced or controlled energy is favored over imports, and this will favor renewables and nuclear in all regions, and coal in some regions. And we foresee that there is a premium between 5 to 15% on average, and as much as up to 25% premium on locally sourced or locally controlled energy.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? As we talk about the elevated cost of doing business and the cost of energy transition, is there any evidence that this comes down over time, or is the premium just what it is? It's just going to remain at that high level?
No, the good news is that long term, meaning towards mid-century, 2050, we will see the amount of energy and the price of energy as a share of GDP will come down towards 2050. And that is due to cheaper renewables and also more efficiency brought into the system due to electrification of end use.
Remi, we've all been talking about these huge fiscal stimulus packages from the United States to Europe, and you're just piecing this together in your report saying, look, these decarbonisation policy packages rolled out over the last year really supercharged the transition. Just walk us through how much quicker we are now in terms of accelerating towards these climate goals.
Well, compared to last year, we are moving slightly in a more favorable position in 2050 compared to our forecast last year. So we estimate the energy system moving from 80% fossil and 20% non-fossil to roughly 48% non-fossil and 52% fossil by 2050. So it's slightly more positive in terms of a non-fossil share in 2050. But emissions is about the same because we are also consuming a bit more energy by 2050. So what we see here is a massive change in the space of just one single generation, but it's not enough for Paris to reach our Paris goals. So we are pointing to a 2.2 degree future rather than a 1.5 degree future, because roughly 50-50 by 2050 is obviously not net zero.